Shalom. Let me get straight into this. Straight into this information right here. So, what's amazing is the Lord put us up on a level, the highest level we can go. Like we the scholars, you know what I'm saying? We the scholars. A lot of brothers have dedicated a lot of time to going into history, being very detailed, to go into the words, going to scriptures and precept, going to dictionaries, going to different books, secular history, and so on and so forth. Many things. Some brothers are gifted at geography. They go into ancient maps to prove certain things, and so on and so forth. It's vast. It's always a specialty to be had in the truth. But I would just contemplate on all these Edomites and all these so-called Bible scholars. They don't know shit. Like this guy here, for instance. So they are trying to, push this fake. I got more lessons lined up. I had like a lesson overload. It's like 5 lessons I wanted to do at one time, and I had like a bit of paralysis. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you want to get so much done. It's only so much time in a day. So the spirit was like, just cut the camera on and start, talking, right? So you got this guy here like James White, the Edomite. These would be the Edomite, vocab alone, so on and so forth. Then you got the so-called different genres of these Christian scholars, that really they don't know much. They just know what they've been taught. So they go to these seminary colleges to get regurgitated information, and they go parrot the information to their congregation, and they can't teach the truth. So the Lord put us up on a level to be able to understand the truth, be on a scholarly level, and be able to break down all these false doctrines through the Spirit. We don't need to go to no seminary school. We know about your Trinity false doctrines that you people teach. We know about the Immaculate Conception false doctrine that Christianity teaching it. We know about there's so many of them. The hell doctrine, that's a popular one among our people, right? The fictional stories that you've been able to intertwine into the truth, you know what I'm saying? Well, the so-called truth, because you people don't have the truth. I'm talking about the Edomite scholars and you Jake so-called scholars that's been educated through the Edomite system. And what's so cold, you got some brothers that been trained through these Edomite seminary colleges just to come back, to come into the truth so they can use that information to condemn, Christianity, right? So you got, once saved, always saved. Salakia. I'm a little congested, but I had to, you know, cut the mic on, right, so to speak. So check this guy out here. So I was going into one, I was watching one of his lessons, and it's just, all folly, going into this and going into that, trying to prove this false prophecy that the J people was fulfilling prophecy in 1948. But actually that prophecy that was being fulfilled was Ezekiel 36 and 5. That, matter of fact, let me read it. Right? Ezekiel 36 and 5. Give me 1 second, let me get it pulled up. So the prophecy that the J people fulfilled in 1948, right, was Ezekiel 36 and 5. And therefore does say the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shah. Surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen and against all Idumea. So who has control over the land of Israel is Edomites. This word Idumea is a Greek word that means Edomites, right, which have appointed my land into their possession. They fully fulfilled this prophecy in 1948. It says, with the joy of all their heart, with despiteful minds to cast it out for a praise. So I'm going to be going into this book. Matter of fact, let me get it real quick. It's more than likely it's going to be my next lesson. Right, this book is called Who is Esau Edom? So the Edomites have disguised themselves under the J people. They disguise themselves under so-called white people, so-called British people, so-called French people, right? So-called Australians, so-called Canadians. But all these people collectively are Edomites, right? So I'm gonna be going into this book proving that the J people today are Edomites, and they did not fulfill the prophecy because they, matter of fact, like I said, I'm gonna have to do this in another lesson. But they say that they fulfill prophecy of the so-called Jews, returning to the land of Israel. But that's not true. That's a lie because in that prophecy, it will be all 12 tribes being reunited, right? In pursuant to the book of Jeremiah 31 and 31, and Hebrews 8 and 8, and so many other precepts I can go to. I'm gonna be doing lessons to go into this very vast history to prove to you that the people in the land of Israel today are Edomites. I'm going to show you that more than likely in my next lesson, or one of the lessons that's coming up. And you got this Judeo, Salakia, the Judeo and Christian alliance. But what you come to find out once you understand what's really going on, that the so-called Jewish people, the Amalekites, they really are from the seed of Amalek, which was one of the descendants of Esau. That's how you got the modern day Edomites, because Esau had five sons. There would be different tribes of Edom. Like you have the J people, and then you got so-called white people, and then you got so on and so forth. The British, the French, like you got the 12 tribes of Israel. So what they have did, a lot of these unlearned Christians, they go to these seminary schools like this guy here. They don't know what's going on. So they don't know that the J people that's in the land of Israel hate the Christians. They actually, when the Christians go over there, they spit on them. They call them all kind of names, and they hate your so-called white Jesus. A lot of them so-called J people don't even believe in the Messiah. They believe in the Babylonian Talmud, which says the Messiah is in, getting tortured, and it's a bunch of matters. I have to go into that in another lesson. But they say some ill things about the Messiah in the Babylonian Talmud, right? So the Christians that's over here that has been indoctrinated in these seminary schools don't know this until they travel and they see the treatment that they get over there, because a lot of these people, the Amalekites, the head nation, the head tribe of Edom, hate everybody. They hate even their own people of Edom, right? So they'll stick together among, Amalek will stick together because that's the head tribe of the nation of Edom. But they hate the typical Edomite that's been westernized, right? And that's that division that you Christians have no understanding. A lot of you peep out of your stupidity and say pray for Israel, but that whole alliance is falling apart because these videos are getting around that the treatment of you so-called white people that go into the land of Israel. They hate you over there. And you got this guy here, like James White, the Edomite, all these other so-called scholars, if you want to say that terminology, that they've been indoctrinated. So this guy he's an evangelical, right? When you go into evangelical, it goes back into they believe in a Trinity doctrine, right? That's why it says right here, James earned a master's degree in theological studies from Trinity Evangelical Divinity School. So Trinity, they believe in that Trinity doctrine, that the Most High is the Most High, He's the Son, and He's the Holy Spirit. That's complete madness. But remember I told you, when you want to find out what somebody really believe in, ask them their denomination of Christianity, of whatever genre of religion or belief they're into. Just ask them what they believe. What is their denomination? And that's going to tell you what you need to know. If you don't know, you can go research it of what they believe in. But all these guys, these so-called scholars in the modern day sense of it, has all been indoctrinated. They've been to these different versions of Christianity. Some of them go to the Mormon school. Some of them go to the Latter-day Saints to get training. Some of them go to the evangelical training. Some of them go to the Baptist, the Methodist training, right? Because all of them got different beliefs, but it still goes back to so-called white supremacy, right? So this guy's pushing this false narrative that these people are actually the true Israelites, and it just wouldn't be the tribe of Judah, because they saying they Jewish, and Jewish is new speak. The word Jewish, the word Jew is new speak. We never called ourselves their terminology. The letter J wasn't created until the 1524, wasn't used in mass literature until around the 1600s. And a lot of these Edomite scholars don't know the stuff that we know. We'll put, if you put them face to face with us, they'll look stupid. And we never ever been to no seminary training because it's all done through the Spirit of the Lord. But I want to bring a lot of stuff to your attention that you don't know nothing about. That's what these lessons that I'm going to be going into. I'm going to be bringing all this information out so you can be aware of what's going on. Because Jake is very unlearned in the truth. I know this don't apply to you brothers and you sisters that's waking up. But typically our people are very ignorant about the scholarly world when it comes to the Bible. They don't really know what certain terminology mean, you know, because these Edomites are going to these $20 words and they'll lose Jake. But we know what those words mean because starting at the elders, we look everything up. We look words up. We break words down. We go into the etymology of words. We see where this word comes from. We see how this word is being used. We see the different context of a word, right? So they use these $20 words to talk over your head. And that's all these Edomites really do. They come with a doctrine, and he's into the whole Trinity thing and some other madness. And they get funded, right, to get the nonprofit through the government, the 501c3, right? So they can use that to, you know, capitalize on the people's ignorance. Just what it is. So it's a lot of stuff to learn. But the J people has pushed this lie that they fulfilled prophecy going back into the book of Isaiah and Ezekiel and other scriptures as well. But I'm going to be proving that wrong. I'm going to show you proof that that's a lie. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of dealing with some serious congestion. You know what I'm saying? Like not feeling all that good, but you know, the work must continue. But I didn't want to make this too long. I just want to bring this out to your attention. Hopefully this was edifying. Call Allah Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua Bahashim Rachak Kodash. Shalom.